So the total for the list of things on this particular sheet comes to $3.1 million. Because 85% of our budget is dedicated to salaries and benefits, we really couldn't find other things that would bring about savings that wouldn't impact employees or classrooms. I just want to note beforehand, some of the things on the previous page and most of the things on this page are going to require us to meet with our bargaining groups. There's a mandatory clause to bargain some of these things that we're proposing, and these discussions will take place after the board decides tonight upon the plan that they want to put forward for the comments from the community for 30 days. The list that you're seeing here is much more austere, and the reduction moves much more severe. The administration is recommending the 5 items listed here on this page. Feedback led to the removal of the elementary band and orchestra programs. We also took off from the list the elimination of activity buses, and then at the bottom, the most severe class sizes were also taken off the list. The green box on this list represents potential savings that we hope to achieve through our partners in our collective bargaining groups. So the first one is reduction in a PA salary. Our PAs, that represents about a 12% decrease in overall cost for our program assistants. Again, these are valuable employees. They do a great job. I know many of you walk through buildings, see them engaged with students, helping out real people, and we hate to lose them, but it is an area that we think that we can find some savings, and we just have to find some savings. So this is about a 12% reduction in the overall cost of PAs, and we'll be meeting with the representatives from that union to talk a little about those. The $715,000 savings is if Jim Garwood, the deputy superintendent, when he does his assignments for the school year, oftentimes in the past he would look at the class size target set by the board, and there were bubble situations, and he would oftentimes round up. He would give schools an extra staff member if they were, 0.5 or on the bubble. If he were to round down, we would save about 13 staff members, which we estimate to be about $715,000 in savings. The reduction in extracurricular stipends, each year we allocate money for musicals. Is that right, Mary? Musicals? There are, I think there are about, we allocate $42,000 worth of money for elementary plays. We think that we can get by with fewer, and we can spread those around to the elementary buildings, and they can rotate on a basis. And so we're cutting that from a $42,000 budgeted item to $12,000, and we'll have 4 elementaries that will be able to do them next year. But this does save us $30,000. As I said, the green is our area we hope to work out with our partners to save some money. As I said, we took off the activity buses. The next $715,000 is really related to increasing class sizes beyond the current board targets. Kindergarten through 6th grade would be raised to 26. That would be the target we would have. In 7th and 8th grade, it would be 28. Again, we would realize about 13 or more staff members and about $715,000 in savings. We're also recommending that we can find $220,000 in savings with our art, music, and PE teachers. As I said earlier, this is an area that I find valuable and extremely important, vital, in fact, to be a part of a good educational program. The arts and the wellness program that we have for kids is vital for them to be successful, and it's important that we not give this up. This savings is found by reducing the time that we have to pay teachers to travel from one building to another during the day. And it would mean that some teachers, obviously 4 teachers would not be employed next year, and some would be part-time because we wouldn't have full-time spots for them. We created full-time spots by paying them to travel. And again, we value these people. If you've seen them in the classrooms, they do wonderful things with kids. It's great to see them in there, and we certainly don't want to lose any of these employees, but we have to look for savings, and this is one of the areas we could find them. So we're not reducing any of the number of art classes, any of the number of music classes, or any of the number of P classes. Students will still get the same number of art, music, P experiences next year as they would this year. It's just that we're finding reductions by moving some people from full-time to part-time. We, as I said, we took off the elimination of elementary band and orchestra because of the feedback. We also thought that raising class sizes as large as the last option listed there would do was something we didn't want to do. We thought we could get by with not doing that this year, and there certainly was feedback to keep class sizes as low as possible. And so the last item there is that we're recommending that these $6 million in reduction measures that we've suggested tonight be coupled with $3.5 million in use of fund balances. That gets us to the $9.65 million. So I wanted to show you what it would look like if the proposed savings were plugged in. So here's the proposed savings plugged in, and here is the cumulative effect of those savings. And just kind of jumping to the conclusion there, you can see in 2016, where we had a 2% fund reserve before, plugging these savings in this year and carrying them out through the next 4 years, we end up with a 17% or almost 18% fund balance as a result of the savings that are being proposed tonight. You can see, though, that we continue to deficit spend, and this doesn't solve our problem. It's the first step in getting us to a solution. So we're going to need to find other ways to save money to fix the structural deficit. This slide, and then magnified, shows what we're hoping to accomplish with some of our partners. You'll see the ending fund balance there is 34% in 2016, and we actually are creating more of a surplus every year. Slide 10 shows that the three main things that we think we'd like to reinstitute if we're able to achieve those savings with our partners, we'd like to bring these things back. So we'd like to reduce the class sizes to what they are currently today, and also bring back those staff members that we're proposed to be part-time or being laid off, and bring those people back and continue to make them part of our family. This slide and the magnification shows that if we were able to realize some savings with our partners and reinstitute those things I suggested, those three things, class sizes, and bring back the art, music, and PE teachers to full-time. You can see in 2016, with some negotiated savings from our partners, reinstituting those programs and class sizes that I talked about. In 2016, we could end up with about a 30% fund balance, and we've corrected the structural deficit. Now, the one thing that I need to share is a little cautionary note. Right now, these projections that Mike has created have $2 million annually for capital improvement projects. And these are to care for our buildings, to keep them up, to make sure that they're good places for kids to learn and teachers to teach. We're in the process right now of completing a long-range facilities plan, master plan, and we'll bring that back, and some of those figures may impact how much money we have to spend, and they may impact the long-term forecasting. So just to know that we'll be coming back with those. But the administration is recommending the savings plan that we presented tonight for the board, and we're hoping that you'll endorse that and make it available to the community for the next 30 days to comment on. We will continue to work diligently with our bargaining partners to see if we can find savings in other areas so we can bring back these most austere measures that we proposed tonight. And know that this was a very difficult task for all of us that were involved, and we would prefer not to be in this position, but we know that we have to make some of these steps in order to keep the district in a strong financial position and carry out the tradition of excellence that District 15 is